Thank you. That was quite a welcome. I want to share with you a text message I just got because this is the kind of support I get from my predecessors, and I always want to acknowledge my predecessors when I first step on this stage. So one of them, Reverend David Alexander, whom I'm sure you know very well. Yeah. So this is what he says just now. What I know is that my dear soul brother Joe breathes with the breath of God, stands with the wisdom of ageless time, and speaks and moves with the heart and compassion. He is a divine inspiration shot forth from this day from the mind of God to reveal deeper truths about the wonder and majesty of this thing called life. And so it is. So he and a few other select amazing people in my life have supported me infallibly to be where I am today, and I'm truly grateful. And among them is my mom, which I'm gonna shamelessly thank. I love you, Mom. Thank you very much. So now for my talk. So the title of my talk today, and this is really cool because it feels like a Sunday morning because it's Thursday morning instead of a nighttime, so I like that. But the title of my talk today is State of the Union. Now, I want that to be remembered, union, because I'll get to it later. So it's been a year since I stood on this stage, and it's been quite a year. Among other things, I have traveled to Turkey and Syria with Reverend Kathy Hearn and 15 other individuals participating in the Abraham Path Initiative. The idea being Abraham, the patriarch, the biblical figure, embarked on a journey after being called forth by God. He didn't know where he was going. He didn't know why he was going, but he knew that he was going. And he knew that it was the right thing to do for him. And so he traveled, and the exact journey, I'm sure, is not known, but that's not the important part. The fact is that he made this incredible pilgrimage throughout the Middle East. And so the idea of the Abraham Path Initiative is to sort of echo that pilgrimage. And so our group, was that 07? 08. Anyway, our group, in the fall of 07, I think, thank you. In the fall of 08, our group started in Turkey in a very beautiful city called Şanlıurfa, which means, I'm forgetting, but it's a beautiful name, and it's been a while. My memory serves me well. We started in Şanlıurfa, and we made this incredible series of excursions. You know, we had these, and I love traveling this way. I don't like doing just a full-on, let's go to each, we're moving every day, we're staying in different hotels every night. It's not it just doesn't work for me. So what we did was we stayed in one place for 2 or 3 nights, and then we did little day excursions. And then we'd come back to the same hotel. So it was a little more, it was a little better as far as experiencing the stresses of travel. So anyway, so we did that in Turkey for a week, and then we crossed over the border into Syria, and we traveled around Syria for the most amazing week. And to tell you the truth, I prefer, just the experiences that I had were more profound in Syria than in Turkey. And that's not to say that Turkey is any less in any way. However, Syria to me was more profound. And one of the places in Syria that I absolutely loved was the chapel, St. Simeon's baptistry and the chapel. And so in the Bible, St. Simeon was this character who lived on a pillar, a column, for an inordinate amount of time. It could have been 30 years. It's kind of up in the air, the exact number. But he lived on a column for this huge amount of time. And people would come and pray to him and take chips off the column. And so because they took chips off the column, what's left is about 6 feet tall. And I got up on top of it and sat there and stood up there. And there are photos to prove that. So that was a really cool experience. And not to mention, I hope Susie doesn't mind me mentioning this, but Susie Wolds was baptized at St. Simeon's baptistry in Syria, which I thought was pretty amazing, to say the least. So the next most amazing experience in Syria for me was this amazing, this monastery outside of Damascus, the capital of Syria. This monastery is located in the mountains. It's called Dir Mar Musa, and it's an interfaith monastery. It welcomes all people of all faiths. It was started by a Jesuit priest, and it has a beautiful interfaith message. And I'll get back to interfaith because it's really poignant on my mind right now. So I found it interesting. On this trip, there was a certain level of profundity that I never really I didn't get. I mean, I was intellectually understanding that I'm standing on, in a baptistry where people have been baptized for, if not, thousands of years possibly, or, hundreds of years at least. But there was something missing still. It was something like visceral that I wasn't understanding it on a visceral level. And yet, in the months and now around a year since I went on this trip, I've been able to really get it at that level. And what helped is that I wrote an article, which I would love for you to read in the August issue of the Science Mind magazine. Shameless plug. I think I'm entitled to one. I wrote an article about it, and so for me, I'm a very verbally oriented person, and so processing it through words really helped. And so now I'm starting to really get the profundity of that trip for me. It was truly amazing. And I picked up some Turkish words, and I love languages. I picked up some Turkish and some Arabic, and then we spent a night in Paris on the way home, which was very nice, if I do say so myself. So that was one of the things I did in this year since we've seen each other. And the next really, really deeply significant thing that I'd love to share with you, because it's still on my mind, was Global Camp 2009 that Jamie just mentioned. It was held in Vernonia, Oregon. Raise your hands if you guys were here, for those of you teens. Nice. Yes. So, I'll tell you my experience. I don't want to speak for you, but my experience was that it was the best camp yet. Now, granted, we say that after every camp, but I mean, that's how it goes, you only keep getting better and better. And Reverend Gregory Toole was there as well, which was a pretty extraordinary gift to have him there, as well as Reverend Guy Williams, who was one of my mentors. So that was a truly wonderful experience to have their perspectives and to see their way of experiencing camp. But the thing I want to share about camp is first of all, our theme for camp was selfless unity. And the way this manifested for us, the only logical conclusion we could come to after stating we are selflessly unified was, let's do service. Let's do something. I mean, because we're really good at, internalizing and rationalizing and being in the consciousness of our faith and our philosophy, which is great, all and good. And I'm always called to service. I'm always called to put it into practical terms, into, getting my hands in the dirt, as it were. So Jamie also mentioned this. We built a labyrinth at this camp, and I cannot tell you how extraordinary this experience was. I would only invite you to go and walk it yourself, because it's truly a beautiful place. But I'll set the stage for you. It is humongous. I think Jamie said that too. It is set in a big leaf maple grove that's been sort of cleared out a little bit, but not so much, because there are about 5 trees that have been built into the labyrinth itself. So when you're walking around, you make a switchback, and then, here's a huge tree that you kind of like walk around and touch, and it's just really cool. Really cool. I love it. And then, and so the experience for me that day was, building the labyrinth was all the more exciting and fun because I wore a ridiculous outfit